tell you who's the real f***ing deal. Moses Itauma. Do you know who that mother is?
Yes.
Bro.
Yeah.
Did you see what he did to Dillian White?
Yes, he's a problem.
Bro.
Yes.
He's
no
a
joke.
problem.
I would be shocked if he didn't have a chin. Oh, that's a question mark, right? He hasn't been tested yet.
Heavyweight, even if you do have a chin. If you get hit on the butt by a 250-pounder, you're going.
Right, and those are always the two big question marks, right, Max, with heavyweights. How do they take a punch and how do they handle adversity? We don't know yet on Moses, but this guy checks all the boxes. He is special. I think he's going to be around for a long time.
I don't think it's a great fight for Daniel. Daniel's a guy that has to know that he can get to you.
Of course they are. Of course they are. They're going to be another great domestic fight. No one's trying to keep anyone apart here. We're making these fights happen.
Boxing analysts are now beginning to weigh in on a potential clash between Moses Itauma and Daniel Dubois. A section of experts feel Itauma's quickness and technical ability could allow him to pull off a surprise in the heavyweight division, while others argue that Dubois brings the kind of punching power and ring experience that could end the contest in the early stages.
He's coming, but we need to see these two guys. Yeah. Moses Itauma, he's unbeaten, great prospect. Love everything that he's doing. But stop talking to me about world titles for Moses. He needs to stay in the lab.
He's mentally frail at times. That's been the issue I think for him. That's my opinion.
Shane McGuigan shared his straightforward view on a potential matchup between Moses Itauma and Daniel Dubois. He made it clear that, from a stylistic standpoint, he sees Itauma as a real challenge that could trouble Dubois in a significant way.
Daniel is susceptible early. That's what Daniel needs. He needs guided. He needs to be looked after and guided. You don't want him to get rushed into fights that like a Moses Itauma, like he's never gonna beat a guy as skillful as that. So pick fights that favor you.
Shane explained that Dubois tends to be most effective when he's mentally locked in and believes he can gradually wear his opponents down. However, he suggested that facing someone as naturally sharp and talented as Itauma might disrupt that mindset almost immediately. He also pointed out that Moses brings precise timing, clean accuracy, and real finishing ability, which makes him a serious threat for Dubois, particularly in the opening rounds.
Gonna beat a guy as skillful as that. I think he'll have that belief against Moses Itauma. I don't think he will, because Moses is so sharp. He's inspiring is one thing. I get it. He loses his accuracy, he loses his distance control because he hasn't got the fundamentals. But we're talking about Moses Itauma, a kid that's like naturally gifted. He's a phenomenal fighter. Like, he can close that distance. He can hit you at all ranges. And if he has you hurt like that, he's taking you out. So, but heavyweight boxing, anything can happen, but I just don't think it would be the best fight for Dan.
Joe Rogan also added his perspective to the rising buzz around Moses Itauma, expressing strong belief that the young heavyweight could already rank among the most threatening prospects in the division. He suggested that Moses carries a rare combination of quickness, precision, and instinctive aggression that can catch fighters off guard before they fully get comfortable in the ring. When the discussion turned to Daniel Dubois, Rogan implied that Itauma's explosive style and sharp counter-punching ability could pose major challenges for Dubois right from the opening moments of the fight.
They're so fast. He moves like a middleweight.
I know.
Here's Itauma.
Look at that.
Watch this guy.
That's that Samoan or whatever it is.
Bro, look at the skill. It's the skill, the movement back and
Dylan
forth.
White's no joke either. Dylan White's no joke. Look at this.
It'd be nice if he said his name right. It's Dillian, but it's all right. Bro, he tuned this guy up. One round, man. I mean, again, White is past his prime.
He's also gotten beat up. White's gotten...
Yeah, sure. Tyson Fury beat him up. A lot of guys beat him up.
But this is the test you want for this young contender.
Yeah, it's the way he did it. He did it like, I'm a world.
Eddie Hearn, however, stood up for Daniel Dubois while discussing a potential showdown with Moses Itauma, stressing that many people continue to overlook just how dangerous Dubois can be. He pointed out that Daniel has already shown he can handle tough moments, push through pressure situations, and still cause problems for top-level heavyweights, even when a fight isn't going his way. While a lot of attention is currently focused on Moses as the division's rising force, Hearn suggested that Dubois' punching power, resilience, and experience on major stages could turn this into a much riskier contest for Itauma than most fans are expecting.
Dubois deserves a lot of credit as well. You know, I don't think he was disrespected as the champion, but he was the clear B-side in the fight, and he come out as a star tonight as well. You know, I think he's a handful. You know, he's a good young man, and he's come back from a lot as well. You know, when you talk about entertainment, maybe vulnerability, but also a huge puncher that's prepared to let his hands go. And like I said, as gutted as we are, Daniel deserves a lot.
Barry Jones also expressed some reservations about Daniel Dubois heading into a potential matchup with Moses Itauma. He suggested that Dubois' main question mark isn't his strength or durability, but rather how he handles situations when a fight begins to slip out of his control. Jones implied that Itauma's precise timing and knack for forcing errors could be especially threatening if Dubois starts to lose confidence during those tougher moments. While acknowledging that Daniel has made clear progress in recent years, he still seemed uncertain about whether Dubois would remain fully composed against a young, fast-rising heavyweight like Itauma.
It was a really good display, and he kept his concentration. I think Daniel Dubois hasn't got bottle trouble. He hasn't got a bad. He's mentally frail at times. That's been the issue that I think for him. That's my opinion with him. One in the fight with Joyce, he didn't know what to do. He panicked. The second time he panicked because in Usyk, the first fight, because he was knackered, and he hadn't been in that situation where he was actually exhausted and didn't know what to do, because you're vulnerable when you're tired, and he didn't know how to react. Now he's been in those situations. I think he's made him a better fighter and an understanding not to panic. And I think he showed that on Saturday night, because Wardley was constantly dangerous up until about 7 rounds, I would think. And then at that point, then the punches he was throwing didn't have the same pop, and Dubois became a bully then. But we should be talking about Daniel Dubois' performance, coming off a loss, let's not forget. I think Daniel, because his mind wanders, and that's been an issue.
Audley Harrison also issued a caution regarding the growing excitement around Moses Itauma, suggesting that the boxing world may be accelerating his rise toward elite-level fights too quickly. He emphasized that although Moses clearly possesses outstanding ability and appears destined for big things, there is still a major gap between handling rising prospects and facing seasoned heavyweights who understand how to navigate and endure high-pressure situations. When the discussion turned to a potential matchup with Daniel Dubois, Harrison implied that Itauma might benefit more from continued development and careful progression at this stage, rather than being pushed immediately into the deepest and most challenging part of the division.
He's working is the same situation with the trainer, but I'm saying stay in the lab, because once you go up, you can't go back down. He's not ready for 12-round war against the right kind of opponent's going to give him the blues at that level. Yeah, he beat Dylan White, but Dylan White was coming off a long layoff, and it was just, again, it's a red herring. He's not ready to be...
Andy Scott also spoke in support of Daniel Dubois when the conversation turned to a potential clash with Moses Itauma, stressing that many people overlook just how strong Dubois' turnaround in his career has been. He highlighted that Daniel managed to rebuild his standing after serious setbacks, ultimately re-establishing himself as a genuine threat in the heavyweight division, despite many fans having already dismissed him. While Itauma is being widely promoted as the next big name in the sport, Scott suggested that Dubois still brings valuable experience, growing self-belief, and a solid working relationship with trainer Don Charles, all of which could make him a very difficult challenge for any emerging heavyweight at this stage.
Dylan White was coming off a long layoff, and it was just, again, it's a red herring. He's not ready to be like
Daniel Dubois. It's only 28. You can imagine that he may well be like a 4 or 5 time heavyweight champion, because he's going to be at that level for such a long time that he can win it and lose it, win it and lose it.
And I think he needs to be constantly reassured.
But he's not.
Nick Webb, however, took a different stance from those already elevating Moses to elite status, arguing that Daniel Dubois' current experience and heavyweight strength still make him the more reliable option at this moment. He acknowledged that Moses is extremely tricky to land clean shots on, using speed and movement that can quickly unsettle opponents. At the same time, he emphasized that Dubois carries a far greater level of raw physical force and fight-ending power. Because of that, Webb suggested that while Moses might surpass him in the long run, Dubois could still be too physically imposing and dangerous to handle across a full contest at this stage of their respective careers.
He will take that, so I think he will take that and, you know, change the game plan up a bit and try and come and beat him. But we see what happens. You know, Moses is like a ghost. You can't hit him, and he hits you with about 20 punches. And then and Dubois is a big concussive puncher, even with his jab. So that would be interesting. A very interesting fight. I don't think that will happen, not anytime soon.
Who would you lean to? Most people I spoke to are leaning towards Moses.
Moses in the future, but right now at this stage, it's got to be Dubois.
By stoppage points, you don't know.
I think stoppage if he was to beat him. Yeah.
Roy Jones Jr. has already spotted something exceptional in the rising young heavyweight. He suggested that Moses carries a similar explosive mentality to what a young Mike Tyson once brought to the ring, where any sign of weakness from an opponent could be punished immediately. When the discussion turned to Daniel Dubois, Jones emphasized that it is precisely Moses' blend of aggression, hand speed, and instinctive finishing ability that has so many around boxing convinced he could develop into the heavyweight division's next major star.
Moses a lot. Moses reminds me of a young Mike Tyson. And what I say that is in the fact that, or in the state that, if you put a guy in front of him that he can hit, he gonna get him out of there. And Dylan White was a guy that he could hit, he got him out of there. So that's the same thing Mike did on his way up. I like that coming from Moses because it gets us excited because we might have another guy that can be almost what Mike Tyson was. That's a beautiful thought right there. He may get better, he may not get there, we don't know. But the fact that we see the potential is exciting to me.
Oladipo also emphasized that this is the matchup many boxing fans are already eager to see happen next. He suggested that there is strong curiosity around whether Moses would be able to cope with the pressure, strength, and relentless aggression that Daniel Dubois typically brings when facing top-level heavyweights.
Itauma is the WBO mandatory. There's just a want to see if Itauma can take Dubois, power, aggression, everything. Can Itauma do that? Imagine Itauma just ices Dubois. Based on what we've seen from Dubois, imagine Itauma just goes there and just lights him up. Bloody hell. Imagine Dubois ices Itauma.
At the same time, he noted that Daniel has managed to rebuild his reputation across recent bouts by showing a willingness to take on any opponent, which is what makes this potential clash feel both highly dangerous and extremely intriguing for both fighters.
Dubois is established now as a two-time world champion. Dubois' last 3.5 years, he'll fight anyone. And everyone talks the talk, Dubois walks the walk, people. So yeah, look, clearly a big fan of Daniel Dubois.
But Don Charles came down in support of Daniel Dubois and gave the impression that he still favors taking a measured approach before any such fight is made. He suggested that Moses undoubtedly has huge potential and looks like a future standout in the heavyweight division, but emphasized that there is no need to throw him into such a high-risk contest too soon. From Daniel's perspective, Charles appeared confident that Dubois is already performing at a world title level, which is why he feels the wiser path may be to allow both men to keep developing before eventually meeting in an even larger, more significant showdown down the line.
Moses is too yet to develop. He's a developing young, he's the future. Yeah? Frank Warren, we trust. He knows what, like you quite rightly said, I think is that he's going to keep them apart. Let them fight for a unification.
We're talking about guys that were two young lads. That's what you say. Daniel is 28 years of age. People forget that because of what he's achieved in the sport so far. That is a huge fight that should be built. You know, when you're talking about now, Daniel's earned that right. You go, let him go and have an easy first defence against a stellar name, a Deontay Wilder type person where you go in there, and he deserves it.
Terence Crawford has shown respect for how Daniel Dubois managed to rebuild his career after many had already written him off. He implied that Dubois is now even more dangerous mentally, having gone through setbacks, heavy pressure, and criticism at the top level, yet still managing to return stronger each time. When the discussion moved on to Moses Itauma, Crawford suggested that Daniel's punching power, self-belief, and experience in championship-level bouts could present a serious challenge for a young heavyweight who is still in the process of developing.
Yeah, you can't get overconfident. Whoever they put in front of them. And you're a good fight, man. for the heavyweights.
Derek Chisora believes that Moses, as a rising young heavyweight, represents a genuine future threat to the division. He suggested that even at this early stage, Moses already shows the kind of self-belief and calm presence usually seen in fighters who are destined for the very top of the sport.
Quickly, when you look at the future of the heavyweight division, one name that always springs to mind and is at the forefront of it is Moses Itauma. Do you see him as the future of this division? Do you think he's the real deal from what you've seen already?
Moses Itauma, yeah, man, because there's no other heavyweight who fights southpaw and who can bang like him. So, put it this way, the problem that we have with Moses Itauma, nobody's gonna fight him. And what happens is Tyson retires, myself retires, AJ retires, Dylan retires, Usyk retires. Okay, great. So basically, Moses Itauma will be carrying the flag for the heavyweight for the whole world.
Max Kellerman pointed out that the key difference with Moses, compared to many other young heavyweights, is the way he stays composed while still being able to switch into explosive action when the pressure rises.
Just the eye test. Like everything we want to see from him, he gives you that. He can move, he can box, he's tough, he's quick, he's powerful. Only thing is, guys like him, if I haven't seen you go past the 8th round, 9th round, I don't know if it gets deep waters from a certain guy that moves around a little bit, how do you hold up? Because he looks good. I mean,
not his fault, but you don't know because he's taking everyone out early.
Man, he's special. Oh my God, he's special.
Something about Moses, the way he carries himself, there's like an aura around him already where I just can't see many people beating this guy. I would be shocked if he didn't have a chin, although that's a question mark, right? He hasn't been tested yet.
Heavyweight, even if you do have a chin, if you get hit on the butt by a 250-pounder, you're going.
Right, and those are always the two big question marks, right, Max, with heavyweights. How do they take a punch and how do they handle adversity? We don't know yet on Moses, but this guy checks all the boxes. He is special.
Yeah, Moses has not lost a single round in his professional career. Gabe, here's what occurred to me, though, watching him. I want your take on this. Yeah. He's compared a lot to Mike Tyson for obvious reasons. Hand speed, punching power, aggression, and a phenom to start his career where it's like, wow, he's blowing these guys out. Right?
Max suggested that Itauma possesses a rare instinct for immediately punishing any mistakes his opponents make, a trait typically associated only with top-tier heavyweight fighters. He added that it's Moses' combination of hand speed, precise timing, and unpredictable style that has led many to believe he could rise into the division's next major superstar.
Southpaw, who can compensate for the fact that he doesn't. It's not like he has short arms, but it's not like he's the longest armed heavyweight in the world against these really tall heavyweights, who's going to have to kind of box in the pocket and control the fight as a southpaw boxer puncher.
For sure. For me, I would compare him more to Michael Moore.
Yeah, but faster than Moore.
Yeah, faster than Moore, but
and bigger.
He's slick. He has that hand speed. You know, Mike Tyson was a destroyer.
Yeah.
So I can't compare no one to Mike Tyson, but Itauma, man, he just showed great boxing ability. That uppercut was beautiful. It was a good stoppage, you know, but I would like to see him continue to develop.
Carl Frock also spoke highly of Moses Atima's potential, noting that the young heavyweight already appears significantly more developed than many fighters at a similar stage in their careers.
Franklin, he was game. He's never been stopped. He's been 12 rounds with the likes of AJ. He's been in there with some decent level operators. Never been stopped, and Itauma got him out of there for the first time in his career. So that's testament to Itauma's power, and the way he broke him down was fantastic. Constantly keeping you on the move, keeping you thinking. You don't know where he's coming from. He'll throw the hook off the jab, he'll throw the lead hook, he throws a shot to the body, and when you attack him, he's got cat-like reflexes. He just reacts and catches you with a shot.
Frock suggested that it is Moses' quickness, precise timing, and self-assurance that have led many observers to think he may one day develop into a genuine danger for champions, such as Daniel Dubois down the line.
Itauma just put a little jab into him, a little stiff jab, knocked him over, face first, he was gone out cold. And what a fantastic knockout and stoppage against somebody who's never been stopped. So Moses Itauma needs a lot of respect and credit for that, and I think everybody else now in that division is having a look saying, wow. I mean, we saw the reaction at ringside. Daniel Dubois sitting there, like he does, didn't really do much face expressions, it didn't really give him much sort of, he wasn't animated, was he? A little clap, but he would have even been thinking to himself, wow, that's a good fighter there I've just seen. But yeah, fantastic result for Moses Itauma, dangerous fighter, only 21, which I've already mentioned, but he's young, fresh, fast hands, loads of feints, combinations, head and body, punches hard with both hands. This guy could be the future heavyweight and reign for a long time. So great performance from Moses Itauma, and that brings me on nicely to who's next.
Sean Porter also suggested that Moses brings a dangerous mix of explosiveness, calmness under pressure, and the ability to rapidly close the gap, qualities that can immediately put even seasoned heavyweights under serious discomfort.
Amazing body puncher. Yeah, he's red hot, but I think Itauma beats him.
His ability to go punch for punch.
Yes.
His ability to feint, to get off line, to keep moving.
Also those southpaw.
All those things, man. I think that's a fight that while you're talking about the young kid.
No, he's not even pro yet, but
I can't mess with that name, but
Joseph.
Joseph,
Right.
yes.
Teddy Atlas has expressed strong admiration for how composed and developed the young heavyweight already appears during fights. He noted that Moses is not simply depending on physical strength alone, but instead shows an understanding of ring positioning, accurate timing, and the psychological side of breaking opponents down. An uncommon skill set for someone at such an early stage in his career.
He technically is solid, and he doesn't take a lot of chances. And since he doesn't take a lot of chances, he's very deliberate about his approach. He wouldn't get reckless. He wouldn't walk into something. And being technically solid, defensively pretty good. Moves his head, blocks, got good eyes. I thought he'd have a chance to last past 5.5. One of the greatest combinations ever of a heavyweight champion with speed and power. Itauma makes you think about that. That's the first heavyweight that I can think of that actually matches that kind of combination of speed and power. The difference is how he does it. Tyson did it in a very one-dimensional, aggressive way, coming forward, making you miss, making you pay. Itauma, he's got a lot of options. He's very dimensional. I mean, he can box, he can set traps, he can counterpunch. You know, he can fight inside when he has to. You know, he can do a lot of different things. And at the end of the day, he's got good intellect. He's got good technique. Ben Davidson, the rest of them are doing a good job with him. And he showed me that. He showed me that good technique, that good intellect, because the way he ended this fight, he landed a good left hand early in the fight. He's a southpaw. That's a big difference with Tyson too. He's not orthodox.
When drawing comparisons with fighters such as Daniel Dubois, Atlas implied that it could ultimately be Moses' calmness under pressure and high-level ring intelligence that sets him apart from the wider heavyweight field.
Itauma took on Jermaine Franklin. This was supposed to be a litmus test. This was a fight where we're supposed to find out exactly what is Itauma. Is he what you've been saying he is? Does he have all the goods? Franklin, yes, he's 32 years of age. He did not look too pretty once he took that shirt off. He was at his highest weight of his career, 258 pounds. We'll get more into that. Don't think it helped him. But he's a guy who's gone the distance every time he stepped up in competition, but fell short. He went the distance versus Dillian White, and he went the distance versus Anthony Joshua a few years ago. He couldn't do that in this one. Itauma, 5th round KO, beautifully placed uppercut. Just want to get your take and get right into it. Itauma versus Franklin.
I'm very impressed with power. I'm very impressed with speed. And I'm very impressed with intellect and good technique. And that's it. I want to keep it short and sweet. He kept it short.
So the main question right now is whether Moses Itauma really is the future superstar of the heavyweight division, or if Daniel Dubois is ready to prove once again that proven experience and true championship level power still hold the edge at the very top of the sport.
I think Team Itauma will want Dubois next.
Yes.
You think they'll say
100%?
Well, they are mandatory, so they can get that next.
He walked past Itauma with the whole crew there, and I said, "You next," and he went. He either said, "Who knows?" or "You know." I couldn't hear what he said, but look, we know him. I'm sure he's game for it.
Yeah. You think they'll take it?
I think so. He's not afraid of anyone.
No, he's not, and neither is Daniel, by the way. I mean, you look at the run of fights that he's been on and what he done tonight. I think that's probably the next one.
Moses Itauma is calling out Daniel Dubois. Now, that is a mouth-watering fight. I don't know. Nobody knows. If that fight, given what we've just seen from Daniel Dubois, whether that might just be coming a little bit too early for the quite brilliant Moses Itauma. And let me just explain to you what I mean. When I say it's come too early for him, Moses has been blowing away everybody up until this point. Fabio Baldi had been blowing away everybody up until this point. But what he did last night, Daniel Dubois, against Fabio Baldi met his match because he came up against a big, meaty man and who could meet him for man's strength. Moses Itauma doesn't have his man's strength right now, and I don't mean that disrespectful.
Drop your prediction in the comments. Who do you see coming out on top in this matchup?